How you doing, folks? Yours truly, Randy Rand here for today's talk. And one thing I wanted to talk about is the bashing that I see going on, uh, especially in the African American community, and certainly speaking as an African American, it bothers me. Um, I understand that there's a lot of issues that we have, and certainly we have a whole lot. Take a pick, and you can certainly make a topic out of it. You can make an issue out of it. But one thing that I see that is so dominant is people pointing fingers, you know, which is very, very easy to do. It's very easy to do when we see some things that people shouldn't be doing, especially children. Especially children. When we see children not behaving the way they should be behaving, dressing, in all kinds of provocative and inappropriate ways, we're certainly quick to blame the parents, and I do believe you should lay some blame at the parents' feet. But I think we can take it a step further than that. You know, and again, I'm not trying to excuse any of this negligent behavior or inappropriate behavior. I'm not trying to excuse it at all. It needs to be addressed, and quite frankly, it needs to stop. But my point is, there's a saying, never judge a person until you've walked in their shoes. And I think that's quite the appropriate saying. It is very easy. It's very, very, very easy to, point fingers and place blame and call people names and make fun of them, and things of that nature. When really what we should be doing is asking ourselves, what can I do about it? Or what are you doing about it? Or what can I do to help? And I know the opinion is out there that, hey, it's not my situation, it's not my child, or it's not my house. I'm going to mind my business. Hell, I got enough problems of my own, and I certainly get that. Believe me. I get that. Believe me. But, and to my point, there are too many instances where we are taking to social media and we're bashing each other. And I mean, we are bashing the hell out of each other. And I think we need to stop it. I think we need, and not to sound stereotypical, but I think we need to come together as a people. And maybe not as a people worldwide or countrywide, but in our communities. Because that's how you start it. That's how movements are begun. Community by community, and take a look at what needs to be done and see what can we do to help, whether it be through volunteering, whether it's through starting your own business, whether it's through, having after-school programs or what have you. The question needs to be asked. What are you doing to make a difference? Well, I'm glad you asked. What I'm trying to do is develop programs that teach children 21st century skill sets, as well as developing programs that enable students to learn about how policy is written and, of course, to teach them how to write policy. Teach them about how policies become law. You know what I'm saying? And quickly to get back to the 21st century skill sets, with technology that's so incredibly important nowadays. It's just my opinion. I don't think our children are learning as much about technology as they need to, and they're certainly not they're not being taught the 21st century skill sets that are going to be necessary to make it out here in the world, whether it's through collaboration or whether it's through any other kind of technology, through workflow software. Certainly, our kids need to become adept. They need to know and learn more about 21st century skill sets, about writing a policy, understanding policy, and they need to become a little more politically active. I see some of that happening, and I'm certainly encouraged by it. But that, in my opinion, that's what we need to do. Therefore, that's what I'm doing. You know, I'm developing content about issues that affect us in the African American community, as well as uh, you know, the rest of society, because after all, it affects all of us at some point. Um, Again, I'm developing content in blurbs and video blurbs like this right here that gives out pertinent information for public consumption. In other words, I'm telling you about this so you might want to look into it so it will benefit you and your children. You know, that's what I'm doing. That's my part. I'm trying to use the skills that I've learned and all of the education that I've been blessed to obtain, and it's an uphill battle certainly, and it's certainly not a process that is going to take you know a quick time to happen. None of this is going to happen overnight. But when you take a look at these issues and these problems that ail us in our community, somebody has to take a stand somewhere. And again, it maybe not on a worldwide or maybe on a countrywide level, but community by community, church by church, state by state, even. But it has to start in every little community because that's how you build a groundswell to get all of this done. Now, to finish my rant here, um, it's easy. It's very, very easy. It is very easy to point the fingers. Hold your hand over your mouth and laugh and grin, point fingers, and all of that. There, that's very easy. But it's also an easy way out. It's not very nice. So it's not very nice. And speaking from my own experience, I work with children that are emotionally disturbed. I've worked with children for almost 30 years now, and presently the children that I'm working with now are they're emotionally disturbed, okay, and they need all the help they can get. And they're between the ages of 5 and 7 years old. Can you imagine? You know, can you imagine going to work and having a 5 or 7 year old tell you what you can do with yourself, how you can do it, when you can do it, and how and if and when you can do it? Well, that's what I face every day. That's what I face every day. That's why that's what's one of the reasons why, I want to develop programs that help children in developing skills, work skills, skill sets that will enable them through all the negative behavior and all of that there. At some point, hopefully they'll grow out of it and want to learn these skill sets because they're going to need them. They're going to need them. They're going to need them. That's the part that I'm playing, or I'm trying to play. That's what I'm trying to do. Each and every one of us, if we do point those fingers, remember we have three pointing back at us. And we should ask ourselves with those three fingers, what are you doing to solve the problem? What are you doing to combat the problem? Or what are you doing to make things better? That's what it's going to come down to because, like one of my heroes said, Dr. Steve Perry, co-founder of the Capital Preparatory Magnet School up in Connecticut, nobody's coming to save us. Okay? Nobody's coming to save us. And to add to that, I also interview. I've spent a lot of time over the years interviewing people that provide content for public consumption about, what we can do to further our education, to further educate our children, what steps we need to take with regards to putting our children in better positions to achieve something, to achieve some kind of success. And as a matter of fact, that once I'm done with this recording, I'm going to go prepare for another interview with a young lady out of Queens, New York, MS 57. Her name fails me right now, but please pardon me. But I am really into what she's doing out there. And in my next recording, I will have the name for you. It just fails me right now, but I will have the name for you, and I will be telling you what she's doing to turn a school around in the urban neighborhood where she is. Okay, I interview a lot of people regarding education, regarding politics, regarding policy, and I make it available for public consumption. That's what I do. That's what I do. What are you doing? I'm Randy Rand. We'll talk to you later. Thanks.